Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside DB Rated. This is the live commentary series where I go ahead and just spectate random matches on DB's ladder and check out what's going on in the metagame here. So it looks like we have Brinster on 470 rating versus Extravagant on 496. Again, pretty new format here, and I guess I accidentally hovered over one of the cards here. But didn't really matter because looks like Brinster is on Drytron, which we're about to find out anyways. So he's going to open with a Fafnir, which is going to grab for a copy of Nova. This deck is really popular on ladder right now, but if you go to yugioh scope, they don't have it categorized just yet, but I believe it's second most behind Virtual World. So a lot of people are still trying to figure out this deck. I'm not sure if I would consider it solved by any means, even still, after the LCS results, but there's a lot of experimentation still to be had. But Preparation of Rites coming down next. That's going to search for Ben 10, and then we're going to see a Nova be the follow-up, which we saw searched, of course. So this can just grab any Draitron name that he doesn't have access to yet, so it's highly dependent on what his hand is. Probably just going to be an alpha if it's not already in hand. Looks like that's going to be the case. He's going to lead that off for a Link Rebo, then probably use its effect to tribute away the Ben 10. So that'll grab for another possible search of a Ben 10, plus Ben 10 will be able to trigger as well. So this will be pretty interesting, just because I already know the matchup, since, again, I typically just collect these replays after kind of hopping into a match and then tapping out, so I get to see what's on the board state at the time. So I'm just going to spoil it. I mean, you guys already read the title, so you know the matchup regardless. So it's going to be against Thunder Dragon, which is pretty interesting, since I really haven't seen a lot of Thunder. I mean, obviously it's not really been popular for a while. I'm curious as to how Thunder builds are looking at the moment, if they're opting to even play hand traps or just trying to go all into their engine. The real question is if this build tries to set up Vanity's Ruler, and if there is going to be any out to that. Benton grabbing the Ava and the Alpha grabbing another Benton, so that is going to be quite strong as a starting point. Any other Drytron can lead to the Union Carrier play here, and I think the card that I accidentally revealed was a Zeta, if I remember correctly, so... and there it is right now, so I guess that's no surprise, but it was bound to happen. He opened up a Nova and he had 4 of the cards in hand. One of them is likely to be a Drytron name. His deck is very consistent. So we're going to see a search for Meteorus Drytron, and then Benton will trigger yet again. I do wonder if it is finally time for Benton to hit the FNL list. Not like this format, obviously, because the deck is still new, but eventually it might make its way on there. We'll have to see. Herald of Orange Light going to be the pickup off of the Benton. And then we're going to see Link Summon of Union Carrier, most likely. Yep. This is going to allow him to equip Dawn Knight from the deck. And then he'll be able to just keep going with Meteorus Drytron, summoning back Ben 10, using the Dawn Knight to send probably a Gamma if he doesn't have it already. So we know the hand is Meteorus Drytron, Herald of Orange Light, Ava, and Ben 10. So there's only one unknown, I believe. Oh wait, no, the Benton was tributed, so there's 2 unknowns, I believe. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tribute away the Union Carrier that's on 2000 attack for the Meteorus Drytron. That's going to summon back the Benton, and then send away Gamma via the Dawn Knight. And I've gotten comments saying that I look at the graveyards too much, and that's totally fair. Looking back at it, I kind of do, but it's just a force of habit, so I'll try my best to not excessively check the graveyards beyond what I need to, but... Benton going to be tributed away for the Gamma, and that's going to bring back itself as well as Zeta here. And then Benton will add Vanity's Ruler. So looking like that's the pickup, and Meteorus Drytron will be able to add itself back by reducing Zeta's attack. So we'll see if he is... It looks like he's not playing like Dragoon in this build. Maybe he could be. He's going to use Meteorus Drytron. Actually, he could definitely be using it. He's going to Meteorus Drytron back the Benton by tributing away the Gamma. So he can go Verite Anaconda, I was going to say with the Link Rebo and the Zeta, and then tribute over the Benton and the Verite after summoning Dragoon, because Verite only locks you out of a special summoning after it resolves, but you can still normal summon. Benton going to go ahead and grab a search after being tributed for the Vanity's Ruler. So his hand contains Ava for sure, and Herald of Orange Light. So he'll have at least one negation on top of this Vanity's Ruler, which is nice. Gonna grab another copy of Ben 10. That's the last one. And this should be the end of the turn pretty soon. Yep. I guess... Oh, he's going to go ahead and use Thunder Dragon Dark in the end phase to grab another copy of it. And I guess like playing around Geonator doesn't matter as much when it's specifically a Vanity's Ruler, but I mean just as a force of practice. It's kind of like playing around Mech Knights, right? You just want to start putting your valuable monsters into this zone. It's very interesting to see the evolution of column importance in this game. Just because we went from columns being completely unimportant to playing around the Imperm column and then Mech Knights and Relinquished Anima, and now we have Geonator, so we have so many zones now to kind of just consider. You're going to activate OG Thunder Dragon twice in a row. That's going to add a copy of Thunder Dragon at the end of it. So I'm curious as to what his outs are going to be. Maybe this deck plays Forbidden Droplet, because not a lot of decks have like in-engine ways to just deal with it, but he's playing back row, and he's setting 3. That's a lot of back row, plus a set monster. So maybe one of those, maybe he's playing like Torrential, could be a thing. We'll see. We've seen like a lot of just generic trap cards. He might be playing like Ice Dragon's Prison or Solemn Strike. Those are some very popular traps at the moment, so we could see that in the splash with Thunder. It'd be pretty interesting to see kind of like a control element, or he could just be playing Floodgates like macro, which wouldn't be bad at all against this matchup, but not when you're going second, obviously. Nova going to be the follow-up here for the Drytron player. That's going to summon out presumably a Delta, since he doesn't have it in his graveyard yet. Oh, he's playing Beta. Interesting. I'm not a big fan of this card personally, just because nobody's really maxing out on Delta or Gamma at the moment. So I feel like you would just want to play more of those cards before Beta, since like those, like Beta doesn't actually actively plus you. But Phoenix is going to pitch Dark Row No More, which has found its way into the main deck here, and we're going to start picking away from the back row. Strike is going to be chained in response, so there's some of the back row, and it was a strike. So maybe this is more of a control, like pure Thunder build. Oh, excuse the phone in the background, if you guys can hear that. Hopefully you can't. But we'll see what the follow-up is going to be now. We know there's a Ben 10 in hand, and now there's like 4 Drytron names. So this will be pretty good. Yeah, he'll be able to get a lot of value. Plus he has Herald of Orange Light in case he has like another fairy. He'll be able to just recover a bit. So this shouldn't be that much of an issue. Alpha will tribute away the Ben 10 and search for a ritual monster, in addition to Ben 10 grabbing a search. We'll see if he's on Manju. Definitely Manju should be played, I think, to some capacity. Oh, he's playing Nekroz cards. Okay. So he's playing Nekroz of Trishula, which is interesting against Thunder specifically. So we know the cards, actually we know both of the cards in Extravagant's hand, because he searched for Dark, and he also searched off OG, so those are the cards in his hand right now. And I actually just totally missed what Ben 10 searched. Okay, I assume it's Manju. I was too busy talking. Manju gonna go ahead and be normal summon. That's gonna grab a search for a ritual card, monster or spell. And we'll see what the pickup ends up being here. Maybe he's on like the Herald stuff. Oh, he's on Dragonids as well. Okay, so yeah, this is the one that can what's the term for a monster that can attack all special summon monsters? Do we have a precedent for that? Like, because obviously we call like searchers like Stratuses or like Rhodas, and we call dumpers like Armageddon Knights and stuff. But do we have a term for monsters that do this? I do wonder. Meteorus Drytron gonna go ahead and reduce Alpha Thuban. That'll add itself back to hand. Because other monsters that do that are like Stardust Charge Warrior, I guess, but it's not really a common effect. But that's a side tangent. Meteorus Drytron gonna go ahead and be activated now. This Alpha is on 1000. So we'll see what he's gonna summon. Okay, so he's gonna tribute away the Dragonids to summon out Trishula, and then use Trishula effect. So probably just gonna go for more of the back row here. Torrential, there we go. Hey, I did say that this might be one of the picks here. Oh, but the Herald of Purple Light also finding its way into the main deck. So that is going to negate the Torrential. Will we see another copy of Solemn Strike to negate the Herald of Purple Light? Because if not, then this might just be... Oh, that's the end of the game. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I did not join this game, or did not join this match in this game. As you can see, there's no watchers right now. So I obviously did not get to see any of this, but that was pretty interesting. I do kind of wonder what that set monster was. We can obviously go back and check, because that's one of the changes I'm going to be making to the series, is that after we do the live commentary, I'll be going over the hands afterwards, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. But if you guys are enjoying this commentary, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video, and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentaries similar to this one. But we're going to be moving into siding for game 2 here. I imagine Thunder is going to go first, considering he's playing a lot of traps as well. Definitely could be very good for setting up. So he is going to opt for first, and we'll see what he can set up. It's interesting because the deck definitely needs multiple cards to actually start off their plays for getting Titan access, whether it's via Verite Anaconda or just like hard summoning it. I also wonder if this build is playing Dragoon, because you could splash it in technically, but it might also just be a bit bricky, because Thunders can be bricky by nature. Dark going to go ahead and pitch itself to add a copy of Dark. You usually don't want to be doing that on your own turn, so his hand might not be the greatest. Hawk going to be used next. That's going to summon back the Dark that he just pitched. So just getting bodies here. Maybe he's just going to go for like a normal summon Thunder. Oh no, right? He's just going to go ahead and set one and pass. Maybe his hands got some hand traps in it. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's looking like he's just playing a more, like a very much a control-oriented advantage generation style of build. Very interested to see how this is going to play out. Brinster, though, going to start up with a copy of Fafnir. That's going to search for Nova. I do wonder if like any of the other spells or traps will ever see play. It's unlikely to, just given how like strong the Nova is. And like you just want, play starters rather than just things that might increase your ceiling, since the deck is already so like natively powerful or flexible in what it can do. But Nova is going to go ahead and summon out Alpha from deck, and we'll see what the play is going to be from here. I'm just going to check the logs real fast. Oops. He's going to link away for a Linkuriboh in the process. Oh, but Alpha going to be triggering away Benten, but that gets hit by the summon limit. Alright, so this is very much a control-oriented Thunder list. And there's the Floodgates as well. So he's playing like TT, Strike, Summon limit. This could be sided perhaps for going first. But Benten also going to be able to trigger here to grab a Light Fairy. So he's going to have to play for next turn. And I do wonder how Drytron's able to actually out this, because a lot of their outs are in the forms of, like just generic extra deck cards, like, what is it, Phoenix and stuff. But it's hard to get to Phoenix, when you're under summon limit, right? So I wonder if he's on like Quadrantids, which is the back row popper, big Drytron. That could also be a way to alleviate the summon limit. Looks like Benten just got another Benten. And end phase, Dark is going to search Dark. All these cards have searched duplicate copies of themselves. So now he is going to go ahead and draw for turn. And I wonder how exactly he's going to be able to amount a lot of pressure. Maybe like a hard drawn Thunder Dragon Fusion could be decent. But as far as like going Verite Anaconda, that won't really be able to summon out anything, because he's under his own summon limit as well. So like ideally if you had like Titan with the summon limit, that would be probably better. But this isn't too bad either, just because Drytron, I'm not really sure again how this deck can out summon limit. It's going to be pretty difficult. So we'll see what the play ends up being. We can just go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Alright, so he's going to tribute summon for a copy of Hawk, which will allow Dark to trigger. So this can just add Fusion, yeah, and then just make a Titan. Seems reasonable. So that's going to be a second summon. And now the question is, what other cards is he going to be playing with this Thunder Dragon Titan? Because he's in a pretty good spot now because he has Dark in hand, so he's able to actually just trigger it on his opponent's turn. So I wonder if there's any other disruption tools in addition to this. Excuse some of the background noise here. But we got Titan attacking for 32. And, I mean, this is pretty reasonable. Again, Drytron really just needs non-engine cards at this point, or stuff like Quadrantids. Maybe a Trishula could help too, actually, because we did see it in Game 1. So that could also be a way out of this for the Drytron player. He's going to start off with a copy of Alpha that's going to tribute Ben 10. Again, I keep mixing up Tribute and Trigger. It's really annoying. For some reason, my brain is just not able to parse those words. But DD Crow going to be Chain in Response. That's probably going to be hitting the Alpha out of Graveyard. The Ben 10 can then be triggered here. There you go again, almost mixing them up. But also the ruling, by the way, is that even though Ben 10 doesn't have to technically trigger in the graveyard, like if, for example, like a macro is up and it gets tributed and gets banished, it still can trigger. But the reason why you can interrupt its search if you like chain DD Crow to Ben 10 being tributed for cost is that it's no longer in the location where it was initially activated. So per the OCG changes, that is how those rulings are going to be applied. And that's how they are on Dueling Book and in the OCG. And I think I'm not really sure which TCG, I guess, regions, if you will, have adopted those changes yet. But I've heard some like remote dual locals have adopted those changes. Alright, gonna speed this up a little bit. Gonna search a copy of Ben 10 off of the other Ben 10. This is really good that he had DD Crow there, actually, because this could have been the searcher for that Trishula that he needed. But he has the Meteorus Drytron hard drawn. So will we see... actually, no, you can't just tribute away one Drytron name. You have to tribute out multiple to summon out Trishula. But maybe he has it. Nah, it's going to be Natasha, which is not horrible. But it's not going to be a lot in this game state right now. It is a good start, though. It could potentially actually just like out Titan. He's going to gain 500 life points by targeting itself. So this could put in work in the longer game. Good that he drew this. So we know there's a Ben 10 in hand. And I don't know if we know any of the other cards. Looks like Preparation of Rites also is going to be coming down, but that's going to be with the Ash Blossom. So no search or add back here because the Meteorus was in graveyard, so that could have added back or been added back via the prep. And going to be a pass from here. End phase, we're going to see Dark being activated. We'll see if he chains Titan to clear Natasha. This is 5k damage, but not quite enough for game just yet. So we'll see if Extravagant can close out. Oh, he has a fusion, that's right. So yeah, he can just fusion and search for pretty much anything to get in for game here. He's going to draw for a turn. I'm pretty sure Matrix is 500. And then you just normal it, and that's game. Or even if it's not 500, you can just boost your Titan. That's good enough. Yeah, Fusion going to go ahead and search for Thunder. You can also like search Batteryman Solar, which I'm assuming he's playing. Maybe he's not, but any Thunder monster that you can just normal summon and attack with is going to be good enough here for game. So yeah, Summon Limit is pretty nice against this deck for sure. Because I don't really think this deck has a native out to it. Like again, unless you're playing Trishula or Quadrantids or just any ritual that is like a tech choice to be able to deal with back row. I guess speed this up a bit. He's going to go ahead and go for Hawk. Literally any Thunder name would have been fine there. I think he's complicating it a little bit. He doesn't need to think too hard about this. Yeah, this is going to be a summon back of the Hawk and going to be from the Hawk, and that's going to be game right there. So Thunder taking a game off the back of the Summon Limit, basically. But I mean, sometimes that's enough, right? And we may see a return of certain Floodgates if decks are not prepared to handle them. But we're going to move into game 3, and we're going to see Drytron go first. So this will be pretty interesting to see what can be set up, as well as what hand traps Thunder is playing. We already know DD Crow and Ash are somewhere in this list. Fafnir coming down again. I believe this is all 3 games that Fafnir was activated. So that's going to get a search for Nova. You were never upset about seeing multiple Drytron names, because that is kind of what you need. So Nova going to go ahead and grab a Drytron from deck. Depends on what the name ends up being. He's going to pick Zeta, so he probably already has Alpha. He's going to use Preparation of Rites next. So this can add Ben 10. Yeah, whenever you open like Drytron, Ben 10, or like Alpha Ben 10, which I assume he already has Alpha if he went Zeta, which he does, that's always really strong. So we're going to tribute away the Ben 10 and then summon itself. Ben 10 going to grab a search after the Alpha, of course, searches for a ritual. So he's going to pick Ben 10 off of the Alpha and then activate Ben 10 effect. So you go for Vanity's Ruler here. It was good enough in game 1. He's going to pick Ava instead. So maybe he's going to use the second Ben 10 to search, because he hasn't used Zeta yet. Yeah, you go like Link into Link Rebo, or just go technically Dawn Knight straight away if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Gonna go for Union Carrier next. And that will allow him to equip a copy of Dawn Knight. So, yeah, he has pretty much access to everything he wants, because this will get him Meteor's Drytron. He can do the whole play, and then go for Vanity's Ruler. Oh, yes, equip from hand. That's always unfortunate. I mean, it's never really, like, that bad. There are times when, like, normal summoning this can be okay. But yeah, it's not the card you want to see, obviously. So we know his hand is Ava and Ben 10, and one other card. So you opened Prep, Alpha, Fafnir, Dawn Knight, and then one other card. He's going to use Zeta to tribute away Ben 10, summon itself. That's something that I sometimes like to do, like as I'm playing as well, is try and like see what my opponent opened with. Just so you can keep track of resources. But yeah, Zeta going to be searching for Meteor's Drytron, and then Ben 10 can grab a search as well. So this can grab the Vanity's Ruler, and then it can Meteor's Drytron away the Carrier for Ben 10, trigger Dawn Knight, grab Gamma, and do all that good stuff. So none of this should be pretty surprising. Yeah, so Dawn Knight can go ahead and get an additional Drytron name in circulation. I really do like that this deck has such good follow-up. It still feels like some of the turn ones they could be, I guess, a little bit stronger depending on the matchup, but again, we'll have to wait and see how players kind of evolve the deck. Meteor's Drytron can add itself back by reducing Zeta, and then he'll be able to use Gamma as well. So yeah, Gamma gonna go ahead and tribute Ben 10. Can summon itself as well as the Alpha. Ben 10 can search again. He can grab like Herald of Orange Light here. Yeah, it just seems like no hand traps with Thunder at this point. Maybe he has like a bunch of board breakers. He could have just ways to negate Vanity's Ruler. And that would be not bad. Gonna search another Ben 10, so maybe he opened the Vanity's Ruler and that's like the last card. He can Meteor's Drytron again for Ben 10 and then tribute over it if that's the case. Yep, Meteor's Drytron gonna tribute Gamma. It's gonna summon back the Ben 10. And then he'll be in a pretty good spot to just go Vanity's Ruler. Did I say Vanity's Fiend? I might have said Vanity's Fiend a couple of times, but Vanity's Ruler. Yeah, it's gonna come down next. So yeah, he definitely hard opened it. Because we know he has Ava, the third Ben 10, and another card that I'm blanking on. We literally saw him searched it, but he's gonna grab a copy of Manju, and he's gonna make a link read. It looks like, yeah, that's fair enough. And then just pass from there. So we'll now see how Thunder is able to just break this. It shouldn't be too difficult if he sided specifically for it. The question is if he did. He's going to normal summon a copy of Aloof Lupine. So that is his normal summon of choice. He's going to banish the Dragon Dark. I wonder what you banish here from your deck. Maybe you banish Hawk, try and dig. There we go, yeah. You can go like Hawk Chilling 1, Dark Chilling 2. So you can add more cards in hand and then just try and like recycle everything if you just don't have any outs. That's not bad. So we will see what the choice is going to end up being. I'll speed this up a little bit. He's going to search Fusion. And then he's going to put back 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cards. So I do wonder what that last card in hand is that he's keeping. He's going to draw 4. So does he have an out? That is the question. Looks like he didn't draw anything. He's just going to go battle phase and attack into the Link Rebo. And obviously Link Rebo effect will be used. So did he draw into like Torrential Tributes or just other additional outs? He drew into a Roar, which will grab back a copy of Dark. And he's going to set 1 and pass. Okay, only setting 1. So that's got to be pretty impactful. Because otherwise, Drytron can definitely just stifle out Thunder from this position. We'll see what the plays end up being. He's going to start with Alpha. We know Ben 10's in hand, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and just get value there. So yeah, go ahead and tribute that off and search for a Ritual Monster. That's going to search for a copy of Trishula. So I wonder if this is the only Necros card he's playing. Just as like a board breaker. Ben 10 can go ahead and also grab for a search. That's going to be Natasha. So now he has like all the board breakers. Yeah, so you don't even mind hitting the Roar off of the Trishula. Since Trishula has to banish from all 3 locations, but you don't mind because you have Vanity's Ruler up. Meteor's Drytron can add itself back by reducing Alpha's attack. And he should be in a relatively good spot. Manju can go ahead and grab a search. He can like search for Draconids and then tribute it for Meteorus to summon out Trishula. That could be an option. Oh, he's going Quadrantids, so he is playing Quadrantids as well. I wonder if he's like siding it for these kinds of matchups. So he's going to use Quadrantids, maybe like tribute, or sorry, Meteorus, maybe tribute away the Quadrantids to summon out the Trishula. There it is, and then Trishula can go ahead and use its effect, hit the back row, Roar, and a random card in hand. There is no response, so I do wonder what this back row is. It was a bluffed Thunder Dragon Fusion. Did he keep that off of the Hawk? Interesting. Oh, Hawk gets a trigger again because it was hit. So that's not bad. I mean, assuming he just doesn't die this turn, which is a pretty real possibility. Now, Meteorus already added itself back, so he can't go for like summoning of Natasha and then link it away and then just well, there's not really much of a board to take here, but unless he has like another copy of Meteorus in his hand. So I'm not really sure what he can draw into on his opponent's turn off the Hawk that'll really change this. So if if Printer can just OTK here, then it's not really going to matter a whole lot what gets drawn. Unless if I can't really think of a hand trap that's gonna change the outcome too much though. He's gonna link away. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Ah, there is a Geominator. Yeah, this is the card you gotta play around. But yeah, he's gonna use Gamma to tribute away Natasha. Can summon itself and another Drytron. You can like switch control of stuff as well. Okay, so he's choosing not to just yet. But looks like Extravagant is going to just admit defeat right there. I mean, it was just too many things to deal with. He could have also just gone Access Code here. So let's go ahead and refresh and just see what the plays were in hindsight. See, this is annoying, is like the private logs, or the private info box doesn't sometimes work. Let's see if it works now. There we go. Yeah, so you have to start off with the show both in order to have that available. Alright, that's pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and just check out things and see what the decisions were in hindsight. So we opened the purple light, which is pretty interesting. And then his hand was, okay, so he had Ice Dragon's Prison, TT, and Strike. So Ice Dragon's Prison pretty dead against Vandy's Ruler. That's the one thing about it in that particular spot. So yeah, gonna go ahead. Alright, so we opened another Nova as well. We can just fast forward through this because we already saw the plays, and there's no hand traps here. So yeah, you open Alpha Zeta Ben 10. And I mean, that's pretty much just exactly what you want. You just get an additional search here. Yeah, I think this is like, for a Vandy's Ruler sort of play, I think this is about as much as you can expect. I use Meteonis here. Yeah, and he just went ahead and summon back Benton and then tribute summon. Yeah, I mean, this seems about standard, getting follow-up for next turn. So he was able to, like, negate a monster and then negate a trap because he would have had Ava as well. So, yeah, he could have, like, grabbed double searches, too. If he's playing more targets. I'm not really sure what more, other targets he's on, but yeah, he had definitely the ability to use both Heralds in hand. So that's quite good. Dark Search Dark there, and he drew a Matrix. Okay, so that's not very good. That's a card he's set, I assume. Yeah, he just set it, and then set 3 and passed. He picked up Dark Ruler for turn, and he had a Nova to start off with. So here went into Phoenix. What did he target? Okay, he targeted the Strike. So that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it, I guess, to just hold the TT here. Because like, you don't expect your opponent to have the Herald of Purple Light, I guess, like hard drawn. Because if you saw them search it, then maybe you play this differently to where you like use Torrential. And then strike the Herald of Purple Light. But even at that point, like even if you do it now, then they still have all their Drytrons and they have Ben 10, which you saw searched. So I think just the Phoenix hitting the strike here was big. Yeah, it didn't really matter. Like I guess the only thing would have been like maybe Ice Dragon's Prison could have done something, but you can't Ice Dragon's Prison Drytrons. So it's also kind of wonky. Although you can like Ice Dragon's Prison, I guess, like the carrier and get them off board afterward, but oh, it's still kind of weird. So yeah, like maybe that's like the only difference that would have made is like it would have made the Ice Dragon's Prison alive. But yeah, like you can't like you can't necessarily blame him for not having like the read on Herald of Purple Light just hard drawn in hand, right? Like I wouldn't blame him. I would have probably played the same way. So we searched Manju, went for Draconids, and here the game basically played the way that we saw it, and there was nothing that could be done at this point. Because after that happened, then it was just game over. So fast forwarding into game 2 here. So, okay, yeah, this hand just didn't have any hand traps or any ways to deal with this. So yeah, Summon Limit really did just win the game right there. There's not a whole lot to dissect here as well. He also just didn't have that many plays Like this is the only play he could have had with the Thunders, so it looked weird, but like that's literally all he could have done. And he hard drew Vanity's Ruler as well, which would be fine in a world where you can summon it, but yeah, when this is 1 and this is 2, yeah, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is gonna, yeah, this is definitely tough. He had to wait another turn to use Alpha again, and then by then it was too late. Was able to Dark for Dark. So the hard drawn Hawk return made a big difference, because that's like the one that really allowed him to actually, well, no, he could have just tributed, I guess, over Dark with Dark and then done the same thing, but or was that actually what he did? No, he tributed over with the Hawk. But either way, he had ways to just get this in the grave, I guess, so it didn't matter. Yeah, so he's always able to resolve fusion. Yeah, it was nice though that it was this, because it allowed him to keep the Dark in hand, which made this live still. So that did make a difference. Like if this was not Hawk or Roar, then he would have like had to use this, and like unless he drew Matrix, then this wouldn't have been live. But then, you know, Drive Matrix also isn't like amazing in this spot. So yeah, this game there's not a whole lot to really talk about because it really just is Summon Limit. Alpha got DD Crowed as we saw. Ben 10 triggering here. Medionis for Natasha. I mean, he had the Alpha in hand, right? I guess he wanted to save it because he had Medionis. But maybe there's a world where you use the Alpha in your hand to play around like Crow and like Bell and Meister. All of which are pretty popular. So like if they Ash this, then you can follow up with a pre-prep. Or sorry, with a prep. But then you still just don't have Drytrons. So if they didn't Ash this though, and you were able to resolve this, then you could like go for the Quadrantids and then try and pop this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the big ones can't be targeted, but Titan doesn't target. So I'd have to read Quadrantids again. That got ashed, and then he went for the end phase. Dark into Titan, popped the Natasha. Yeah, like this is like ordinarily a pretty good stall tactic, just because it just can never die by battle basically. But obviously as Titan, he drew another Ash. Yeah, that grabbed just a copy of Hawk, and that's just gonna be the game there. So yeah, I don't think there's not really a whole lot of like varying lines of play, just the way that these games have been played out so far. So he drew Solar and Aloof Lupine, so he is on both these normal summons. He just didn't draw either of them in games 1 or 2. Okay, so he drew Herald of Orange Light. Oh wait, no, so we saw... So that was a card that I didn't know about. Like, I knew about these 4, and I didn't know about this one. Okay. So we went for Nova. We already saw all of this. Went for Zeta. Activate Search Ben 10. Yeah, this is really strong, because, like, this carrier is summon number 3. This is summon number 4. He's gonna Medionis. I'm gonna search Vanity's Ruler. And this is summon number 5. So it's like... So like, even if you got Nibiru'd here, you could still, like, Ben 10 search... Because, like, Nibiru tributes as well, so it triggers this. So you get another search for Ben 10, you haven't used Gamma. Like, this was always hitting the board, no matter what. That's what's good about this. Is that, like, Vanity's Ruler is almost always going to stick, even through, like, Nibiru and stuff. I guess if you get Nibiru'd here, then that would be pretty detrimental. But he had a Herald of Orange Light to negate it anyways. But I'm just thinking, like, in terms of just for a thought process. A Tribute and then search Manju. Yeah, so we knew Manju, Ava, and Ben 10, and we didn't know the Herald of Orange Light. I thought I knew this one for some reason, but we didn't. But we knew the other 3 cards. Okay. And then went for Link Rebo and passed. And he drew another Roar. Jeez. Okay, so this is all monsters. Yeah, I definitely think the play for Hawk was good here. He added fusion, and he didn't put back the fusion. So I guess he was relying on his opponent maybe like popping off Phoenix so he can grab a search. But I don't know. I would have just immediately tried to search for an answer because I assume he just like sighted into them, right? Oh wow, he literally drew all Thunder monsters. That is not good. So yeah, that is not what you want to see. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Maybe this could have drawn into like a torrential or something, but yeah, it was just not a good draw. Also, this image not loading is a little bit annoying, but we'll deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, if we were to add back, yeah, we literally just couldn't out this card in either game 1 or 3. Like, he could have possibly outed it in game 1, but again, the Herald of Purple Light really just made things tough. Also, he drew the Herald of Purple Light for this turn, so even if this was like a TT, he had a negation for it as well. So yeah, Herald of Purple Light in the trap-oriented meta is pretty strong. Like, not even trap-oriented, but just a meta where a lot of traps are present. It's also nice just as another search target for Ava. It's good. Yeah, there he added the Trishula and the Natasha. And we already saw this game played out. We knew every card in this hand except the Heralds. Oh yeah, let me read Quadrantids real fast. So, your opponent can't target this card. Oh, with spell trap cards or effects. And I think Drake and his can't be targeted by monster effects. But either way, both of them would lose to Titan. So, it's not like you can beat over Titan with this reliably. But yeah, this does float into other Drytrons, which is cool. So yeah, this game definitely did just play out the way that we anticipated. Let's see what he drew off of this second Hawk here. I'm kind of curious. There's a Torrential, but again, he had Herald of Purple Light anyways. But I mean, that's what he wanted to dig for. Unfortunately, didn't see it. Yeah, went for Geonator, and then just went for a Scoop. I mean, again, Access Code would have just been game here, right? Yeah, you can't, like, get into Beard, so you're totally fine. And that's, like... You just go... Excuse me, you just go Unicorn, then Access Code, and that's 53 plus 27 is already a game by itself, and then you have Andy's Ruler. So, yeah, there is the hindsight version of it. I actually don't think there was a whole lot to kind of process from these hands. There wasn't really a whole ton that could be done differently apart from like the very minor things that I mentioned, just because really it was the floodgates for all 3 games. So sorry if this wasn't super interesting. It really was Vanity's Ruler, then some Element, then Vanity's Ruler again. So pack your outs and just hope that you have access to them, I guess. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive review content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon or TCG Player. All the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.